So a little bit over a week ago, Memphis, Tennessee rapper Young Dolph got murdered, got shot down while he was at a local bakery in Memphis making an order. Some dudes drove up, hopped out the car, shot him through the window, shot him down, killed him, and they drove off. And after watching and taking in that incident and thinking about other rappers over the last 2 or 3 years that have been shot and killed. And when I say that, these guys, including Young Dolph, they were not robbed or nothing was taken from them. They was just murdered for whatever reason. I mean, I guess we could talk about that too, but that should probably be another post because these aren't incidents that are just out of nowhere. There's usually, with these incidents that are happening with rappers getting shot and killed, there's usually some timeline of incidents between other individuals that lead up to this murder or their murder. But we won't go there for this right here. But after Young Dolph got killed, there was, as expected, a lot of condolences online through social media, people posting series of hashtags and their remembrances of Young Dolph. And one hashtag that got me going and got me thinking was the Black Lives Matter hashtag. People have been posting that saying, hey, look, these lives matter. These rappers are getting killed. Young Dolph's life matter. He had a wife and kids and things of that nature. And that's understandable. And I'm not arguing that at all. But, you know, looking at that and seeing that go viral, I was thinking to myself, you know, something needs to be done. And don't get me wrong, we go down this road quite often when incidents like this happen, right? Especially in the minority community, the Black community, Hispanic community. We go down this road of, hey, look, we matter. Black lives matter. We need to do something. What's going on? This is an epidemic. This is a pandemic. This is reoccurring. All of these phrases, words of concern comes out when things like this happen. And look, Young Dolph just happened to be a rapper that was famous, kind of on the underground hip hop scene, so to speak, but successful. But we all know that this happens to regular everyday Joes every day in minority communities. And I'm at a point now where I feel like we need to get beyond just the hashtags and the crying and the screaming and the hollering when these things happen to our people. And what I'm saying to this is, and what I want to say here is, I'm challenging individuals on the national scene to be more accountable when it comes to speaking about how we can get these murders under control. Now, I know locally around all the major cities in this country, United States of America, there's been a lot of groups and a lot of people fighting against what I'm about to say here, black on black crime. And that's a hot topic. That's a very hot topic. I get it. There's been people in that fight against minority on minority, black on black, brown on brown, black on brown, brown on black, however you want to phrase it, however you want to group it. There has been local, regional support for that, and it continues. It's been going on for a very long time, and I applaud that effort. But on the national level, we need more discussion about black on black crime. And what I'm saying is that topic needs to be brought up by people that are in the national public eye. Politicians, activists, social groups, social action groups, social justice groups. They need to be speaking about it more. And that's what I came away from. I mean, this is countless times we've seen this in the news. Again, famous and non-famous, minorities getting gunned down. by other minorities. And I've done some research. I'm sure if you're watching this, you have too. There's a national pushback against the phrase black on black crime. People talking about the stats aren't always supportive of that. Whites kill whites, things of that nature, and we need to worry more about police brutality and all that. Hey, those stats are important as well. I get that. I'm not even arguing that. Yes, that's true. I know whites kill whites. I get it. Police have been killing blacks. That's another layer that needs to be brought up. That needs to be redefined and solved. But the black on black crime that has been talked about and danced around and studied here and there, it's time to bring that to the forefront again. And what I'm saying is, I want these national people that are going on all these media outlets when it comes to discussion on what needs to be done in communities and neighborhoods that are populated by minorities. The discussion of minority on minority crime, I don't care. I'm not even talking about however you want to shave down the stats, if it's high, if it's low, whatever. I'm not arguing that, but it's a problem. Bottom line, it's a problem that needs to be solved. And the first step to me is some of these people and groups need to really bring it up. Literally say it. Just say it. Say black on black, brown on brown. We need to fix it. Because even just starting off by just saying it and bringing it up as a talking point in an interview, there might be an interview about something that's broad. But within that, I think that topic needs to be drilled down and talked about. And then after they bring it up and discuss it on whoever show they may be on, then they need to actually go out and help these regional local groups, give them funds to fight the black on black crime. Because no matter how you want to say if the stats are high or they're low or they're overrated or they're overblown, it's still affecting our community. And I don't care how it affects white on white. That's not, to me, that's not even a comparison, because we all know if you live long enough, even if you've lived just a little bit and you've been around and you're a person of color and you've been to relatives' house, friends' houses that are in certain communities, you know the violence, the crime, the killing, the murders is a problem, and it is generational, and it is affecting how minorities in this country evolve and try to just live, literally just live. So I'm challenging. If you know of any national people or figures, politicians, activists, groups that are actively pushing this narrative, just please leave a note, leave a comment, let me know, because I haven't consistently seen it. I haven't consistently seen it being brought up, and I know it's a trigger. It's a trigger topic where you would get a lot of pushback, particularly pushback from people of color that are on the fight, that are in certain positions. They think it's a negative when people of color that are in these positions bring the topic up, because they say it does more harm than it does good. Well, I'm here to say I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it needs to be brought up. It needs to be said, and it needs to be a point. I don't care on what national show that they're being on, if they're being interviewed, or the topic of crime and violence is being brought up. They should bring it up. Whoever it is, religious figures, anybody. You know the people that I'm talking about. You know the minority people in this country that have a platform that goes across all regions across this whole country. There's not a lot, but there's enough. I'm talking about groups as well. These social justice groups, they all need to bring it up, and it needs to be a point of emphasis. And that's what I'm saying. And young Dolph is just one of many that continue to be gunned down in this country. And the first step to me is acknowledge it and do something about it. It has been acknowledged. Don't get me wrong. I know it has been acknowledged, but it has not been emphasized and kept up. We need to keep putting it at the front of the table. Keep putting it out there that these communities, and there's systematic reasons why. I get it. There's systematic reasons why these crimes and violence happens in most of these communities and neighborhoods that are populated by minorities around this country. I get that. There's layers. There's a domino effect to how this happens, but we need to talk about it. Not just locally, not just regionally. It needs to be a national, cross the country campaign, so to speak, for people that are in those positions to say it. They need to say it. Black on black crime, black on brown crime needs to be eradicated. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to utilize some funds, more funds, and give them out to these hot spots around the country so these communities and regions and neighborhoods can fight against what's happening. Because however you want to shave down these stats, the black on black crime is an issue. Even if it's perceived, there's a problem. And it's enough of us dying by our own people that shouldn't be. And we need to fix that. But first, we need to acknowledge it, say it, and then drill down on it.